So this is the instructions for the 31st of January swim. And the kit they're going to need: pull buoy, kickboard, and those Finnis hand paddles that we've used in previous weeks. Remember, those are the pointy ones with the little fin on the back. And we're going to get them to attach them just as before when they're using them, just with the middle finger through the elastic, so that the Finnis paddle is lovely and floppy underneath the hand, so that it will drop off if they were to drop the elbow or drop the wrist during the entry or the pull. So this is still in the base phase of our periodization, so this is all done nice and easy. We're going to be working at easy or the lower end of the moderate, if you like, so they should be still getting out of these sessions feeling pretty fresh, like they can do some more. We're building the base, the aerobic base, trying to get a bit of volume in each week. Let's have a look. We are going to be doing the pull and push. So this really is a revision, some revision from previous sessions. Remember, we did the catch and pull, and then we did the hand entry and pull. Now we're doing pull and push. So there's some revision here, but what we want to do during the technique session is focus their mind on, at first we're going to focus the mind on the front end of the stroke of the pull, and then we're going to focus the mind on the middle section of the pull, and then at the end we're going to focus on the push. Just so we're clear, the front end, the front third of the stroke, if you like, is once we've rotated, reached into the water, we've extended the shoulder up, we're in the hand entry phase and straight into the catch. Remember, there's always pressure on the water right at the front end of the stroke. From the moment the hand goes in the water, we're pressing on the water. And the first part, where we're going to keep that nice high elbow to get into that powerful position, if you like, is the first third of the stroke. The second third of the stroke, the middle third, is where we develop more power, and we can really get on top of that the press from the elbow to the fingertips. We can use that whole forearm and hand as our paddle, and really start to get a hold of the water and put some power in it. But then the push phase is where we've run out of room, really, so the power then comes from extension of the elbow, straightening the elbow. Mainly it's an action of the triceps, so extension of the elbow to push that water out the back of the stroke. So that's what we mean in terms of the terminology between the catch, the pull, and then finally the push. The hand will accelerate through this whole process. So at the front of the stroke, when we first catch the water, it's probably at its slowest, and then we gradually get faster and faster, and the fastest part of the hand movement is during the push phase, and we can develop a lot of power there. Our warm-up, there is nothing especially innovative in the warm-up, as you can expect. We've not done kick for ages, so I just put a couple of kick with a board, no fins there at the end of the warm-up. I don't want them to be doing super hard kick, because they're only just getting to the end of the warm-up. But so just two 25s, last in, first out, and they can go in pairs doing that. So going on to the technique, as always, allow some really good spacing between your swimmers, because we don't want crowding. It will make people pause and it will destroy the drill. The quality of the drill will be lost. Remember, all of our drills are not about speed. The drill needs to be done properly. It needs to be done at a pace where it maintains body position and speed in the water. This isn't about getting them over and done with as fast as possible. It's all about the quality rather than the speed of them. So we are going to revise, because we're going to do 4 25s as doggy paddle, and we're going to do the thing where we do doggy paddle to halfway, and then we're going to go into pull. Now we're going to do 4 25s. The first 2 you can do with the Finnis hand paddles on, and the final 2 you can do without the hand paddles, just to demonstrate the difference and see if they can maintain the technique without the feedback from the hand paddle. Then we're going to do 100 meters of pull, again thinking about whole part, all the way through. We are then going to do 4 25 meters, and again we're going to maintain the same pattern. Swimmers like that repetition, so they kind of get into that mindset. So again, we're going to do a half a length of drill, and the drill this time is closed fists, So we are going to do closed fist for halfway, and then we're going to open them. So they're going to feel the pressure on the water. Now during this section, I want them to focus on the mid part of the stroke. Especially with that closed fist, because you will not get a great deal of purchase during the initial catch because your hand isn't there to produce any downward pressure on the water. But you will start to get pressure on the forearm and fist through that mid part of the stroke. So we can really ask them to focus their mind on getting some good pressure there, which will help them swim. Then they open up the hand to bring back into play the extra paddle that is the palm and the fingers. So they should feel some more pressure there. Again, we're going to do the hole, so we do 100 meters pull, asking them to still think about that pressure on the water. And then the last drill is going to be the kind of, it's probably got a proper name, but with the pull bone, we're going to do the splash drill, which is where you pull through and you then push out the back, but you continue to push until your hand leaves the water to generate a splash behind you. And we're going to do the entire length this time as the splash drill. And we are then going to go back into the pull, focusing on pressure on the water right through from the front to the back end of the stroke. Finally, we're going to take the pull buoy out, and we're just going to go to full freestyle, again, thinking about that pressure on the water right the way through, from the front right through the middle to the back end of the stroke, and to push. We don't ideally want to be causing spray, of course, when we're properly swimming and we're not drilling, because the spray, we don't want to be pushing into thin air. That spray is just wasted energy. But they'll learn where to pull through too. Some people, you'll notice, have a short stroke, and they will tend to exit the water a little bit too early. So this drill, looking through the push phase, will encourage those people with a short stroke to lengthen the stroke at the back end, and develop that power that they've maybe been missing there. So do watch out for swimmers who you think are leaving the water a little bit early. We should be encouraging them to push right the way through, so the fingertip is roughly where your pocket is on your trousers. So all the way through to the thigh. If they're coming out at the hip or the lower abdomen, then that's really quite a short stroke. Main set, we are going to be doing. We're going to be doing we're going to be doing a long, then a short a set 3 times. So lane 6 are going to have an 1,800 meter swim, so they're going to do a 500 meter swim, so 20 lengths, and they're going to be doing that at kind of the upper endurance, lower tempo type of pace. So RP of about 4 to 5 out of 10. So 20 lengths of that. Then really get them to last in, first out. So they regroup. Then they're going to swim 100 meters. And this 100 meters is done really slowly. So 2 RPE 2 to 3. So wind it all the way back down again. So it's a real recovery 100 meters. Again, regroup after that. As soon as the last swimmer comes in, the first one goes out. 5 seconds between swimmers, so the rest looks after itself. So we're going to do 3 of those. That gets them the 1,800 meters. Lane 1. Same kind of pattern, lot less volume. So 200 meters at that RPE 4 to 5, followed by 100 meters at that recovery. So the ratio is very much more in favour of the recovery for the lower volume lanes. If we have time at the end, you could consider a relay. I've said that we're going to keep the volume, the intensity really quite low during these sessions. So this will be the 5th session of base building. It's generally the rule in base that we're going to keep things nice and easy, but we don't want to entirely neglect speed, so we need to somehow just sneak a little bit in. So sometimes in the warm-up we edge into a little bit of speed. So at the end we could put a little relay race in there if there's time, just to, it keeps things fun, doesn't it, and lively. What I don't like doing at the end of sessions is to make people swim really hard with hand paddles on, especially at this time of the year. Hand paddles obviously overload the shoulder. If they're fatigued already, the rotator cuff might be a bit tired, allowing that shoulder, head of the humerus, just to move around a little bit more. And then if we put in a load of load with a hand paddle on, there's a bit of a risk of tweaking the shoulder. So a bit of a relay at the end might be nice if there is time. So that concludes the 31st of January.